Good evening, guys. Welcome back to Impact Dynamics. My name's Rusty, and we are live again, going again for a Friday night, a nice, relaxed, chilled out Friday night with all sorts of stuff happening tonight. Hope you guys are well. It's great to see a number of guys already in the chat going. Dave, Charles, Steve. Hey, guys. Hope you're doing well. Anthony, Scott, Brad as well. All sorts of guys. Hey, guys, if you're just chilling at home, if you've got a beer or something, let us know what you're drinking. It's Friday night. Most guys are doing that. I snuck an extra little challenge in for me for the team impact side of things. I'm off the booze for a couple of weeks as well to go in with the weight loss stuff. So anyway, I'm on this stuff, water. But anyway, hopefully you guys are drinking something a little bit more exciting than I am. Let us know what that is. That'd be great. All right. There's also Richard's in the chat. Oh dear, this could go south very quickly. Speaking of, I've got no segue for that. I'm sorry. What I did want to say, though, was if you guys are doing your Team Impact stuff, I know I got messages today from Steve Blacker's reading Applied Ballistics books. He's got a certain date. He wants to get through all 4 books. That's an awesome challenge. That's an awesome. That's good knowledge that you're going to develop over a period of time. That's fantastic to see. I spoke with someone else who is what were they doing there again? They're off the booze and they're walking every day for about 3 or 4 Ks, which is awesome, and a whole stack of stuff. So it's all kicking on. So if you're tagging in, we've got a video to watch in a moment from Dave Acker for Team Impact Challenge as well. Catch up with his Illinois agility test, I think it is. We'll play that in a few minutes. Just before we get to that, Projectile Warehouse is sponsoring tonight. 5% off. You can use the code IDLIVE5, IDLIVE number 5 to get 5% off the entire website. There are all sorts of stuff there. A stack of outer edge projectiles as well. Which brings me to let you guys know that Steve Hurt from Outer Edge will be back on the show next Thursday for reloading night, talking projectiles, but also talking general reloading stuff as well. So bring your questions, bring your thoughts. As if any of you guys watched the show before, guy knows his stuff and is happy to deal with all sorts of questions. So bring him along. It's going to be an excellent night. I think I'll have to double check the schedule, but I'm pretty sure that we have Ben Jarrett on Tuesday night as a bit of a follow-up episode. The episode we did on the social media side of things was really popular, and we've been asked lots and lots of questions since. So we're going to jump back into that and have a little look on social media stuff. I am checking the schedule. That's what I'm doing here. We've got a couple other plans for some guys in, but the next show, which is Sunday night, Team AI, which is Butters and Birchie. I don't think Andy can make it, unfortunately, but Butters and Birchie will be here answering your questions. So if you got questions for some top-level shooters, that will be the moment. And also I'll be there for no apparent reason. Right. Dave Acker. Let me just check in if anyone's drinking. Oh, Anthony's too ashamed to say what he's drinking. Someone's on 150 lashes. Someone's on the honey wild turkey and Coke. What are you doing, Brad? The honey wild turkey is fantastic, but I'm not. I can't deal with it with Coke. It's got to be neat. Anyway, that's all right. Richard is missing my gay tiger hugs. Well, I guess there's one way to fix that is get rid of Corona, and then we're back on. Anyway, Dave sent me this video earlier this week. He wanted to document a little bit about what he's doing with his Illinois agility test. I think he's got some of his numbers wrong and all sorts of stuff, but here we go. Dave Acker checking in for Team Impact.
Hey folks, Dave here from Team Burris. Just outlining my challenge. I've set myself here for Team Impact Dynamics. What I want to accomplish within the next 2 weeks is I would like to shave some time off and complete the Illinois agility test comfortably within 20 seconds. I'll explain what it is in a moment here. I'll give you a quick rundown because there's a diagram and everything. Reasons I want to do this, one, just get back into better shape and finish off working the last bit of this sweet death spot off I've required over the last 5 years or so. Another reason too is just work on my cardio fitness so I can be a bit calmer, better heart rate behind the rifle. So without further ado, I'll give you guys a quick rundown of the what the agility test is. And by the way, that's Giuseppe Tortini's Devil Trill Sonata in G minor. Really good piece of music. I recommend you listen to it. So first I'll go over the dimensions real quickly here. So basically it's a course set up 10, so 5 and 5, and 10 meters, so 10 meters wide, 10 meters long. What you do is you start here. On the start signal you get up, run around this far post, follow this arrow or whatever you're doing. Weave up through your 4 pylons and turn around, weave back through them, run up over around this pylon and then run back down to the finish line. Goal being to do that, well my goal, do that well within 20 seconds, so yeah, looking forward to it. So yeah, quick pro tip on this actually, as most of you aware, gyms are closed. I usually pay for a gym membership. One thing this whole quarantine business has taught me and kind of forced me to do is actually look for really cheap workouts, so I can basically work on my fitness for, well, basically free. I actually found this workout and goal in a police training manual online. And I found if you dig deep enough online, not even dig deep enough, just learn how to use Google, you can find a lot of really good functional workouts from the police and military that require really no equipment. And yeah, they're free, like I said. So, I mean, if you're paying for fitness,
congratulations, you played yourself.
But yeah, to the point of my story more so, I'm actually using water bottles instead of pylons because I don't want to pay for no pylons. Like, they probably cost you like $3 a piece and I need 8 of the things. So I'm actually using old water bottles because I had some old water bottles and those suck for the environment. So yeah, fill them up with water, use them as pylons, you save the environment, work on your fitness, and you get hydrated afterwards. So yeah, anyway, I gotta wake up and film the remainder of this video before I log into work tomorrow. So yeah, see you guys in the morning. All right, got the course set up here. There's the starting point. We'll run out to there, and back down to here, weave up through them, weave back through them, then run out to there, then run back to here. Gotta do all that in 20 seconds or less. Let's see what we can do. Comes up, thinks around this guy. Oh yeah, fuck you, bud. Wanna go that way? Yeah, you go that way. Yeah, show you. Fuck off, eh? Finish him off, eh? You want some too, bud? And that's how she's done, boys. Give her. All right, that was the run through. That's standard practice in either the beer league or goon practice. Anyway, I don't know. This exercise fucking stuff's ridiculous. I'm gonna go sit at the liquor store till it opens and cry about not being able to shoot PRS. So yeah. Yeah, well, I'm not actually going to go sit at the liquor store and cry till it opens, or maybe I am, I don't know. Rusty wants me to take this half seriously, though, and actually do the thing. So, here's a real run through. Hey folks, Dave here from Team Burris.
Righto, there we go. Dave. Dave's a little update for how he's going for Team Impact. Well done, Dave. You're a special guy, and I mean that. All right, excellent. We will see. We're going to get that last video of him and put it against how he does in a couple of weeks, and see if he has improved or whether he really did sit at the liquor store and wait for it to open and cry about not being able to shoot PRS, which I totally understand as well. Speaking of PRS, one of the men who has spent some time behind a spotting scope at PRSs and yelled out very loudly Impact. Quite often, or perhaps not as often as some people would like, but fairly often. There's a man that joins me tonight. I've known him for a number of years now, and he has. It's been exciting seeing his journey through his company, Porter Machine. If you haven't heard about them, you will tonight, because they do some. They being Ian does some really exciting things and has learned all sorts of lessons, which he is happy to share, which is excellent. Plus, he's just a decent bloke. So here he is, and you guys will see some comments floating around. But good evening, Stacker. How you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm going all right, mate. Thank you very much for joining us. You're getting pummeled in the chat at the moment.
Yeah. The fellas I know, they're sort of getting stuck into me, but like they say, they're not real smart, lift heavy things.
Oh, fantastic. Excellent, mate. Excellent. How's things in, whereabouts here, Sydney-ish? Somewhere around there?
Yeah, in Sydney.
Yep.
Sydney these days with the rest of the insanity that's going on at the moment.
Yeah,
so
not wrong.
Rather be back in the West.
You're keeping safe and all that sort of thing?
Yeah, working from home these days. So
Gotcha.
I've spent probably 3 days constantly on a video call like this for 9 hours a day, which has been fun.
So you should be a pro for this then.
No, I wouldn't say pro. I'm pretty tired of it.
Pretty reluctant and sick of it. Yeah, I understand. Yeah. I get it. I think I spent, as I was saying to you, I think I spent about 8 hours in front of a camera yesterday. Wasn't the plan, but anyway. So be it, mate. Excellent. So I guess for those who are wondering, Porter Machine Works. I know you, or some people may have come across your rings. That's probably what's most common. How did that all kick off and go from there?
Yeah, it's kind of it's a bit of an interesting story. So the idea kind of popped in my head when a friend and I were talking when Tika dropped they went from the T3 to the T3X line.
Yep.
And everybody who bought a T3 got a set of scope rings with them. And so when they brought the T3Xs, they dropped that scope ring line. And the part of me looked at it and gone, it's a piece of aluminium. This surely couldn't cost more than $50 to make. Surely I can, surely I can sort of, that's a market. Like everybody, I bought a T3 and I used the scope rings for 6-12 months or something before I changed them out. Yep. So that they all got used. And so I was like, hey, this is going to be a big hole I could fill, because how many rifles are manufactured, or how many rifles are sold in Australia, and they all, majority need a set of scope rings. I'm like, hey, this is a pretty big hole that needs to be filled.
Yep.
And I looked at the aluminium, going, oh, this is going to be really simple. I could do this quite easily. And little did I know, it wasn't simple.
Your background's been in sort of some level of design or engineering or something,
Yeah, mechanical engineer.
And so it wasn't just
like... It doesn't mean anything, though.
you weren't just looking at it and going, oh, yeah, I could make that. I've got a bloody drill and a set of I don't even know what you need for a set of verniers. I'd be useless, but you actually had the skills to back up what you're talking about. But how we go from there?
I wouldn't say skills. It was a lot of luck and some perseverance. I literally, so I don't have a machinist background, just mechanical engineering, but it doesn't really qualify anything. It just says that I can work with some numbers and that's about it. But a lot of it was just by learning. I started off, basically I started making, so I did all the design work. And then I bought a machine, a big CNC mill. And then I started machining it. I've thrown away a lot more than what I've manufactured because it's part of that learning curve. I didn't know exactly what I was doing. And so I was like, how do I learn how to do it? And I figured the best way to do it was just put my head into it and keep on going until I got it right. And so here I am, sort of still trying to, it's right now, but I'm just trying to make it better. Like, there's always something I can improve. There's always I can always make it better. And then it's the thing about trying to be the best is you're never the best. There's always somebody around the corner who will be the best. But as long as it's the best I can do, then that's where I want to get to.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting that the nuances that, one of the lessons I know that we encountered earlier on when I was selling the first lot is that you had made your rings to specifications, exactly how they should be, based on Picatinny specifications, and your attention to detail is really good, and you made them so they were really like complementary fit, nice and tight, not very tight tolerances, so that they were an excellent ring. Not everyone holds the standards to the same level that you do they? And that caused a few problems.
Yeah, it's more my problem. It basically becomes my problem because mine's the last product online. Like when you buy your rifle, you buy your rifle, you buy your rail. Yeah. You generally pick out your scope well beforehand, and then the rings are the last thing that goes on. Mm-hmm. So if the rings don't fit, the rings are usually at fault. And so the Picatinny has a tolerance range, and I'm like, me being me, have gone, okay, I'm going to match it exactly to that tolerance range and not have any wiggle room. Yep. Or minimal wiggle room.
Which makes sense if you're trying to build something that's designed for precision rifles and really solid pieces of equipment. That seems a sensible way of thinking about it.
Yeah, that was my thought process too. But but then basically that slot that sits in the Picatinny rail, I had a whole bunch of people start calling me up saying, hey, I can't get this bar to fit within a slot. What's going on? And it seemed that quite a few manufacturers had undersized that slot, not by much. Like you're talking 50 microns, so 0.05 of a millimeter, but that's 0.05 of a millimeter that I had gone right to the line, and so that 0.05 millimeter was just 0.05 too much.
Yeah.
And but it was a good learning lesson because it just kind of makes me understand that everyone who manufactures or that manufacturing environment isn't always exactly to the T, and there is a play. There is a range that you can work within, and then there's also stuff outside that range that affects it as well. And so you have to account for that stuff that's outside that range.
Yeah.
But it's been a good bit of an interesting one that I hadn't really thought about. So the cross bolt that I use in the rings is made out of stainless steel. Mm-hmm. And my thought process is, all right, if I design it at 45 inch-pound, if I design it so it can withstand 45 inch-pounds of torque put on it, I should be safe because the design requirement says 40, means I should be able to put 60 on it before it starts to break.
Yep.
But then I changed the process from anodized back to I would change to a Cerakote finish because everything would be uniform. Yep. And Cerakote's naturally lubricating. So when you actually torque something up, the torque or the effective torque that's measured is the resistance that's built up by friction. Because Cerakote's naturally lubricating, you've reduced that friction out. So the effective torque that you're putting on the bolt is much higher than expected. So you're putting like 70, 80, 90 inch-pounds of effective torque on this bolt, and you basically was stripping the bolts. And I didn't know why, and I had to sit down and I had to break a lot of bolts actually kind of for it to click. But I realized I've changed the process. I've changed the coating. Cerakote is now reduced to friction, so the torque that I've specified is way too high. So it's been lots of little lessons like that when you if you break 10 sets at retail price, then that's a bit of money throwing out the window.
And to your credit, anytime someone had a problem, you resolved it and sorted them and made sure that you looked after them, which is what I saw, and that's very good.
Yeah, if there's an issue and if there's an issue, not necessarily if it's my fault, but if there's an issue, I'm more than happy just to. I'd rather throw a new set of rings at the problem if the rings are the problem. Whether if I said 45 inch-pounds and you put 45 foot-pounds, which is an easy one to make. I've had a few people put 45 foot-pounds of torque on a 12 mil sort of nut. Sort of snaps it pretty cleanly. I'm happy to throw a new, just replace a part because it's a minimal cost rather than all right, it's a mistake. The customer knows that that's happened. They've had a laugh. I've had a laugh. send out new parts. Just it's a no-brainer.
And sort them out. Yeah, no, nice, mate, nice. And so, where are you up to now? You're producing rings on a regular basis, or has COVID sort of killed off everything?
Producing, so everything's so the process is pretty much nailed. So just basically every weekend. So I still have Monday to Friday jobs. So I'm usually doing this sort of every weekend, pretty consistently every weekend. And so basically machining and sending off to anodize the cross bolts, which are stainless. I get them case hardened, which is a process called QPQ, which is a quench, polish, quench. And so it turns the stainless steel into a blackened finish. So it's sort of it's a relatively uniform. So I don't have a two-tone set of rings anymore.
Nice.
But it's a blackened finish and it's case hardened, so it actually has it's a stronger property to the material. So which I'm happy about. And just machining it, trying on a few new things. I tested out a bit of a Picatinny rail the other week, and I have a uni mount, so a one-piece mount that's sort of in the works. Awesome. I just need to get that finalised first.
Yeah, nice. And I got a question here about what sort of aluminium do you use to make your rings?
6061 T6. So the T6 is an extrusion. I was using I think it's 651, which is the plate. So it's 6061 was a plate form, but I've gone to an extrusion because I can keep a bit more of a uniform. I can get more of a uniform part out of it. Yeah,
cool. No worries. Jonesy has suggested that you break into the return and earn for the Coke cans and use that. Do you dispel that as a myth?
For Coke cans, 5 cents. Depends how much you want to drink. So, the chips, the stuff that you produce from the machining is Coke cans. Forget about it.
Good. Anyway, so there's a lot of comments going because you used to spend your time working at Lithgow, didn't you, back in the day?
Yeah. So I used to. Yeah. And that's where all the Stack Hats comments come from. Because if anybody could, is this
they've gone way
ad revenue? If I swear, will the ad revenue disappear?
Go nuts, mate. Knock yourself out.
If anybody could fuck it up, it was me. So that's why I got called Stack Hat.
Gotcha. I thought it was because of your weird looking head. Anyway, no, you've got all sorts of. They've moved well beyond Stack Hats now, mate. They're into a real, really giving you a hard time. That's that's all part of it. So what's on? You're working on Picatinny rails, and you're working on a one-piece mount. Have you?
A one-piece mount.
Yeah, cool. And they're coming along fairly well.
Yeah, so the one-piece mount has been I've been pestered a lot by quite a few people to get it finished.
Yep.
But there's a fair bit involved. More so about trying to hold it properly. The problem is it's for one of those learning curves that it's not about sort of making the part, it's about how do you make the part that holds the part that you want. So that's why, like, when you're talking about like manufacturing, you look at something and go, oh, this is quite easy to make, but it's the hard part. It's only 50% of the equation. The other half is how do you actually hold it to make it. And I have to give credit to Richard to this one. You can make one, that's easy, but making 1,000 is hard.
Okay.
And it's making that number one matched exactly the same as number 1,000 is very, very difficult. And so anybody who's in that manufacturing environment, whether it's Lithgow or Ignition Custom doing their own stuff, it's very difficult to manufacture in bulk quantities. And so I take my hat off to those kind of guys.
Yeah, it's for someone who's got zero manufacturing experience. I mean, I can barely cook, so to go from like 1 to 1,000 and have them being doing the same thing, I think it's certainly that's stuff you don't think about and how they heat up and all sorts of stuff, mate. All sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
But you do more than just create products. You also shoot, and you've actually been shooting pretty well, from what I'm told. Or I may have been lied to. I'm not sure.
They're all lying to you. I can't shoot for shit. It's a bit of a joke.
Well, you've been shooting up at Mudgee, the comps that have been running up there.
Yeah, the SSAA run a competition out at Mudgee, and it's a good group of people out there. Sort of, it's quite a good group of people. It's sort of, if you're looking at sort of that style of shooting and you're out west, or Western New South Wales, sorry, I should clarify that one. It's a good group of people just to turn up and have a shoot. They run a comp, so Saturday is a bit of a come along and just see what's going on, a bit of a range day, and Sunday is usually the competition day, and it's I can go out there and send a little bit of lead down the range. Sometimes they hit, sometimes they miss. So it's all good fun.
Yeah, nice, mate. Nice. And what sort of gear are you running for that? What do you shoot?
It's a Ritter and Stark. It's a Precision Defense Industries put me onto it, Mark Bourne, and so I picked up one of those and started running it. Thing runs really well. Shoots out of a PMag, so it's a AR-10 magazine, and it's double stack, double feed. Can't really argue with it, and the magazines are cheap, so like $50 or something. So if you end up throwing the magazine down the paddock, I'm not going to cry because it's not a $300 plus magazine. So thing shoots really well. I can't argue with it. I haven't actually done proper load development for it because I just literally found a load that was like that shot really well. It was half minute, and I was like, oh, good enough for me.
Yep.
Won't even change it. So, and then so I've just been, I haven't really put any effort into it. It's just everything's just fallen into place.
Yeah, nice, mate. Nice. It's good to hear. One of the things that I remember about hanging out with you was the first time I tried Canadian bacon. I don't know if you remember this, but I'd never had bacon with maple syrup, and I was like, oh, it was a bit weird. And I can't remember if you ordered it first or one of the other guys. This is at some weird fancy hotel in Sydney that we all met up at.
Oh yeah, this was it's one of the meetups, and we went to a whiskey bar, and there was 4 of us turn up.
Yeah, and it
was one of your first PRS.
Yeah, and it was definitely a wrong choice of location, but it was real high class. But I don't remember if someone convinced me to order this bacon with maple syrup on it, and I'm like, this is going to be weird. I had it, and it was epic. And I still give you credit for that. I don't know whether you actually were the one, but I still give you credit for it.
I'm going to take that credit because I've had maple syrup and bacon, and it's fucking delicious.
Yeah, not wrong.
If you wonder why I got fat, it's probably bacon and maple syrup.
That's a fair reason to do so, mate. I can't argue with that. Yeah, absolutely. And then we wandered down the road to one of the German brew houses type thing, and got stuck into it. Yeah, nice.
No, I remember that night. It was a good night. It was one of your meetups. There was just a few of us turn up. It was a good night. Yeah, I think
the next Sydney meetup we went from 4 that one to the next Sydney meetup we end up with about 32 people. So it grew. Yeah. It got better, but all good. Now I'm just going to check in. I haven't really paid a lot of attention to the chat because most of it's just the Lithgow crew abusing you, which is appropriate.
Yeah.
But there's some question about some thickness of your rings. Take that as you will. That's from a legitimate question, by the way.
Thickness is because there's a lot of thickness comments, but it's usually between the ears.
There was a couple of them as well, but I'm looking for the actual in terms of your rings. Do you know what your
thickness is in the material around the web, or thickness is in axially?
Oh, let's go for both, mate. You're here. You may as well get all the information out.
The first one off the top of my head is 20 millimeters.
Yep.
So that's actually like a long, so the clamping length is 20 millimeters.
Uh-huh.
And then around the top, I can't remember off the top of my head. It's in that 4 or 5 millimeter range. Visually, it looks small because you have a big chamfer on either side.
Yep.
So it makes it look smaller, but actually the actual web thickness is about 4 to 5 millimeters.
Yep. Okay.
So it's relatively thick around the top.
Yeah, they are pretty. They're a solid ring without being like offensively chunky.
No, they're relatively light. I think they're in a 62 per ring. So a pair of rings is about 120 grams.
Yeah, right.
For the people who are really worried about the weight.
Nice. There's a question, when you're going to Mudgee next? Well, I guess when Mudgee is on next is probably the answer, because who knows?
That's also been a bit of a joke because I've missed the last 3 or 4 Mudgee trips.
Oh, have you? Oh, okay. You've been hiding. You've
Yeah,
been
that one.
busy. Paul asked, what is your trading name, which is Porter Machine Works. So
Porter Machine Works.
I'm guessing if people
Google it,
that,
Facebook, it usually pops up pretty quickly.
yeah, I found you on Insta. Yeah, there we go. First thing. Yep, check it out. Check it out, Paul. It's good stuff. Worth looking into. All right, I think that is about where we've covered all the questions. We've got to make sure we attend to our viewers. Fantastic, mate. Fantastic. Now, I wanted to ask, because you're developing into Australian manufacturing. You're producing more and more products, and I think now is a very interesting time because Australian manufacturing. We've had Steve from Outer Edge on, and looking at the fact that right now, I mean, I bring in some rails and bits and pieces, and it's getting real expensive and super difficult to get stuff here from overseas. You're in a pretty good position where if you can make Australian-made rings and do it locally without a massive effect from overseas pricing in the Australian dollar, hopefully this could be very useful for you. And guys seem to want to support Australian businesses. Have you seen any of that in the last month or so?
Not so much in the recent months, because not so much in the recent months, but generally the 90% of Australians will more than happily purchase an Australian product, especially in the farms industry, because I think we've all done it. We've seen somebody local, whether it's in Lithgow or low-vis gear, they've gone, hey, here's an Australian guy making stuff here. I'm just going to buy this. I'm just going to buy it. And most of the time, it's actually really good stuff. Like, it's, for quality wise, you really can't compete against it. And especially now the dollar's crashed, it makes it more important to support these guys, because they're the only ones to rely on. And things are getting very expensive now. So I was only looking today at optics. If it doesn't have 4 figures, then it's that's where you start at for 4 figures. But I remember when I started buying, if it was $1,000 plus scope, then that was in that upper tier of optics.
Yeah.
Whereas now that's where you kind of start, which is pretty scary. So I haven't really quite seen the sort of fluctuation in the recent months, but I think give it the next 6 to 12 months, and a lot of people will start to look locally, because not only is it price-wise, it's a better product, but quality-wise, it's equal to whatever, like 20 you can buy from international places.
Absolutely. It may have been a fantastic time for you to have gone through the lessons that you've gone through over the last couple of years, and be in a position where you know how you're making your products really well, and you've learned a stack of lessons, and now you're poised, ready to rock and roll. So hopefully it's we want to see some guys take the ability to make the most of the situation we're in, and hopefully you do.
Yeah, hopefully it does support. Yeah, hopefully it does sort of come in that direction. And hopefully there's more and more players join that party that have gone, hey, let's make stuff in Australia, because if it's made here, then it's sort of, I think it's a much better product, because it is made here, and a lot of the time, if you've got a problem, you can just ring somebody up and you're going to get somebody straight away, rather than having to go through a distributor sort of model.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Now, tell me about your first PRS, about coming down to Mildura, wasn't it? And you got thrown behind a spotting scope. Tell me a little bit about that, and then how that sort of played out. Getting stuck in and getting involved in this sort of shooting.
Yeah, I think there was probably 2 key figures from that one. One, me really upsetting Jay Orange, because he thought he hit the target, and I said no, it wasn't a hit, and we had a bit of a disagreement on that one. That's probably the first and last I'll say about that one. He's probably swearing at the computer screen right now at me. And the second time was there was Richard, myself, and Mark Bourne.
He's
some genius.
Don't worry, he's probably watching maths right now. So you're good. You're good.
he's standing outside his balcony going 4.5 miles, 3 o'clock.
Oh yeah,
Can you use Kestrel?
Yeah,
Yeah,
fantastic. Yeah. I did. I did ask him about that today. He's if you, by the way, if you're not following Orange Accuracy on Instagram or Facebook or both, or well, he's not on TikTok yet, but he's not on maths either. You should be. You definitely should be. There's some good lessons being dropped there. But anyway, aside from that, you, Mark Bourne, and Richard.
Richard.
Oh dear. All right.
So some genius put the 3 engineers on spotting scopes, and the conversation went downhill as fast as anything else. So some shit was talked, and yeah. So no, it was a good weekend. It was a good weekend to sort of get out there and see how it's run, and even sitting behind some glass was good.
Yep.
It was just there was a lot of shit talking. So most of it probably not conversation for a public.
Yeah, I wasn't looking for details specifically. Did you learn some stuff from that weekend? I mean, obviously, you then headed down the path of actually shooting these matches up at Mudgee. So obviously, you enjoyed what it was all about.
Yeah, it's just sort of it was good even because not shooting, even just sort of participating and becoming sort of a spotter or a stage officer is what you guys, calling a stage officer. It was good enough to, just to get out there and see how things were going on, like to how it was run. Because I was super hesitant, so I didn't want to sort of jump in the deep end and go shooting and think I was underprepared. But sort of, I think it's one of those. It's a competition just to turn up and bring what you have. Doesn't matter what you have, and just give it a crack. Even if you feel like you don't know what's going on, you'll probably be put in a group with 20 other people that will all give you as much information as you want and help you out because it's all part of the fun of the sport. And that's why I kind of kept my finger in that pie or kept my finger in that sort of industry it's a good bunch of people that's always willing to help each other out.
Yeah. Or give you a hard time in the chat. One of the two, probably both. Probably both. Yeah. Yeah, fantastic, man. Because a lot of people want to get into it and have those same hesitations that you talk about there. They look at a match and they're like, oh, I'm not sure, I don't know what I'm doing, and I think I think and tell me if that's correct, but going into a match and spotting or doing something on those lines sort of gets you right in there. You meet the people, you see the process, and it can actually sort of make you more comfortable with how it's going to go for your first time.
Much more confident, much more comfortable because you'll watch 40 people shoot the same stage and you'll see the same thing shot 40 different times.
And
so just by watching
ways.
and you'll see 40 different mistakes. Whereas if you actually shoot it, you might not learn. You'll see your group. Yep. And you'll probably make the same mistakes that you would normally make.
Yep.
But actually sitting down and not having that stress or that worry about what you need to do, getting to watch other people do it, it's probably the best thing.
Yeah, awesome.
Just to see how other people do it and see what their game is, and because at the end of the day, it is a big game. It's mental, and you just got to play it.
Yeah, nice. Was the 40 different mistakes on the same stage all Jonesy?
Jonesy, he put 40 mistakes on somebody else's target. So
Good. Thought I'd give you a chance to get back at them a little bit while they're. Very good, man. Have you got any? Actually, this is one to you, but this is also to our viewers. I'd love if you're watching and you're in the chat, chuck in what you're doing. But I'm curious to know what guys are up to for Anzac Day, given the current environment we're in. Port, so do you normally do something for Anzac Day? Do you get to a dawn service or do something on those lines?
Usually dawn service. So I've got my sister's major in the army and her husband's major in the army. So I think I've gone to the dawn service ever since I've been sort of 18 years old and been able to be in country New South Wales. Once you get your driver's license, that's your freedom. So you went to dawn service, you had to drive yourself because mum and dad weren't going to get up at 5 in the morning. So I've always done dawn service usually. So this year is going to be a bit interesting.
Have you thought about what you're planning to do or any?
I have seen on the doing the rounds on Facebook, the go and stand out at the end of your driveway. And I'm more than happy. I'll probably be 6 a.m. standing at the end of my driveway
Yeah.
With, probably, hopefully, with a few other people.
Yep. I think I will do. I will do the same thing. My normal deal is Dutchie, who's on the podcast with me. He's been a mate for a long time, and for a number of years there, we would meet at about 4:30 and have pancake breakfast, because we learnt that afterwards it's just flat out everywhere. So we went early. We'd go and have a nice early breakfast and chat and all that sort of gear, and then wander ourselves over to the dawn service and do that, the one in Adelaide, in the sort of, I guess, the main one. But yeah, so I'm curious. We're starting to get a few stories of what people are doing, which is awesome. Awesome to see, and I think whoever kicked off this idea to go out front and to just do it, I guess, together publicly, but still within the realms of what we can do, that would be good. Do you have plans for the rest of the day? You walk inside and grab a beer straight away, or it's a bit of two up?
No, I'm going to go to work and turn my machine on and give it a warm up and start machining stuff tomorrow.
Yeah, I guess you gotta make the most of your weekends, don't you?
Yeah, it's kind of what I do every weekend. It's a bit of a labour of love, kind of, at the moment. Yeah, that's what I do every weekend. So I'll finish that and head down the machine and go and start sort of machining stuff for the day. I'll probably finish about 8 o'clock tomorrow night and call it a day.
Yeah, nice. All right, just checking in here. Okay, all right. A few of your alleged mates have said that they're excellent value for money rings. All jokes aside, all piss taking aside, they're great rings, etc., etc. So they're backing you up, mate. They're backing you up. Ben Richardson says 100% helping out a PRS is a brilliant way to start. He did many. Did you ever meet Ben? Anyway, he did a number of matches, which is good. Sheldrake is putting on his DPCU.
CUs.
I don't know what that is. I'll show my ignorance here. I'm assuming that's medals or a uniform or something that I'm not familiar with. It. Sorry, I don't know if it's in Urban Dictionary. I'm not up to speed with this. All right. And go down the end of the driveway. It's good. And I think a bunch of guys that. Apparently now, I maybe Carl's suggesting they should have pancakes and maple syrup bacon in the morning. Wouldn't be the first time, Carl. I have definitely done that of recent times, but not with my plans for Team Impact to drop some weight. So that won't play along with that. Right. One thing we haven't done for a little while on this show, Ports, is we haven't done memes for a little while. Because if there's one thing that has come out of this coronavirus scenario, it is some quality memes. So I'm going to send you some memes, and we're going to put them up on screen. And want you to rate them. If you haven't seen the show before, we generally do an out of 10 rating, but you have to choose the animal that you rate. It originally started as llamas, and then alpacas was more fun to say, and then someone chose axolotls, and it's been all sorts of animals. So you have to choose an animal. So you do that. I'm going to send you the first one, and then you can come up with something for that. Right. So let me. I'm going to send these through on Facebook, I guess. If you've got that close by. If I can work out how to do that, I'm not. Every day is a battle. Here we go. Right, let's get both of us up here, and I've only got you, but anyway, that's what we'll do. I'll bring myself into the screen in a moment. Have you got that? Did that come through on Facebook?
On Facebook, where have we got here? Years from now, we're going to be like 18, 19, 20, 2021, 2022. Yeah, I've seen this one.
Good. Any good? Do you rate it? Good, useless?
Out of 10 or 5?
Out of 10. Out of 10. That's what we need.
Out of 10. I'll give it like a 2 out of 10 donkey sticks.
Two out of 10 donkey. He's a harsh rater, but fair, harsh but fair. Okay, no problems, mate. Very good. What else? We're gonna have to send you guys. If you're in the chat, tell us how many donkey. Oh, it's just anyway. You set me up well here. Tell me how many donkey dicks you would give this if you're watching in the chat. I look forward to seeing. I don't look forward to seeing Donkey Dick. I look forward to seeing the ratings. All right, we're digging holes as fast as we can here. All right, someone's no, sorry, Conservative Sniper Hunter. You don't just make it up. You've got to follow the guest's choice of animal here.
Here we go. We got bandicoots. I'll stick with bandicoot. They're an Australian species.
Okay. Well done. He has changed that over. Okay, excellent. All right. Well,
thanks, James, for that one.
Yeah, I think good suggestion. All right, here we go. Next one up, mate. Next one's inbound to you. This has got Rick and Morty in it, so it's already got a couple of bonus bandicoots.
Yeah, Rusty, we can do better. Like that's two bandicoots out of 10.
Oh no, it's got to be 3 because it's got Rick and Morty. Are you a Rick and Morty fan, or are you just some sort of loser?
I'm a loser. I don't really watch Rick and Morty.
Well, I guess. There you go. All right, we do have one more, which is hopefully some saving grace, which I think is my favourite. Which we always build. We can't kick off with like the top quality material, mate. It's not the way you build suspense. So here comes the third one. This is my favourite. If that's come through for those.
Yeah, say no more. all right. We'll get you over the line. We'll get you a 5 out of 10.
A 5 out of 10. Oh, okay. This is
harsh critics tonight.
I know. It's you don't like laughing. I get it. What do you want? Anyway, it's, for those who are listening to the podcast, these are just not going to make sense, especially this one. You've got to see. Jump on YouTube, watch the video. If you're listening on the podcast, sorry, I can't explain this one. Anyway, good. Actually, I don't think I explained the last one. All right, this did make me laugh. I'm going with the seven donkey bandicoots. All right, crossbreeds. Which, if you can achieve that, that's impressive. Sheldrake's given it an 8. 8 bandicoots. Oh no, hang on, 8. I got it wrong. 8 bandicoofs. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been given a -1 bandicoot, a massive coof. I don't know what we're doing anymore. I'm not sure who's running the show. I love it. It's great. All right, well let's move on from the memes then. We will do that. Excellent, mate. So weekend plans are punching out rings. That's the goal.
Yeah. So this weekend it's sort of just basically making up stock. So usually starts early in the morning and finishes relatively late at night. So that's kind of the plan for the weekend. Saturday, they'll back up by Sunday, and then chill out Sunday afternoon.
Yep.
Yeah, it's sort of the plan for the weekend. What about yourself?
Well, just a little clarification, by the way. Ozcam is DPCUs. Thanks for letting me know that. What is it? Digital print camo or something like that. So thanks for confirming that. I am showing my ignorance about military terminology, which I've never claimed to know much about, to be honest. What are my weekends? I am working on a new video. It's been on the edit desk for quite a while, but I haven't done anything with it. This is a challenge. In fact, I should talk. Let's give the people. I haven't got a visual sneak for you. I'm sorry, guys, but this was a challenge we call the Centurion Challenge, where you have 100 rounds. There are 100 separate targets that decrease in size every 10 to 15 different targets. They get smaller and smaller and smaller. This is at 200 meters. And you have 100 minutes to achieve this challenge. But if you ever played the drinking game Centurion, did you ever play that?
Yeah, it's 100 beer shots in 100 minutes.
Yeah, well, this was 100 shots in 100 minutes, and it's one shot per minute. And when most people hear that, they think, oh, yeah, it's all right. I can do that. That's fine. 60 seconds a shot, no problem. Until they get down behind the gun, shot prone, and they get there for, 10, 15 minutes with not a lot of time to get up and move between.
Elbows start to suck.
Yeah, and then the neck
Chest starts to hurt.
Yeah, and then
neck hurts.
Then you get up and I got to get back down again, and then you've got to find your target again, and you've got to make sure you're up to the right target, and sometimes it's hard to see that, or you got to make sure you're your target, not somebody else's target, Jonesy. And so you've got all sorts of challenges, and very quickly. So far, I've run this competition twice previously, and the second one was filmed. The first one was many years ago as a concept, and people have not done anywhere near as well as they thought they would do. So we had 8 shooters in this particular challenge, and one of them won by a fair margin, and one person fell out on the first shot. Let's put it that way.
What's the falling out category?
They missed the target.
Oh, so you can only... So you keep on shooting your 100 shots until you miss.
There's I think 3 ways, or might be 4 ways to get out. So you miss your target, you're instantly out.
Yep.
If you don't take a shot within the minute, you're out. If you take 2 shots or more in the minute, you're out. And if you shoot the wrong target, you're out.
Oh, Jonesy's gone. We know that.
Yeah, well, that's him. I'm not. If he was there, he would have been bailed out before the first target. So, yeah, that's my plan this weekend. I spent a little bit of time last weekend putting some stuff together I haven't really spent a lot of time editing it yet, but I will delve into try and get another sort of 10, 15 hours onto it this weekend, and hopefully get it in a position where maybe next week we'll be able to show our viewers a little sneak peek of it, a little teaser, and with the intention next couple of weeks to be able to release it. It's going to be like similar to the Box to 1000 video we did, which was a little while ago, in that it'll be sort of 10, 15 minutes sort of little package of what happened. And we've got some interesting people there, one of which being Dave Acker, and you guys saw the video at the top of the show, so it should be good fun, one way or another. It'll be good fun. So anyway, that's a long-winded answer for what I'm doing my weekend, is staring at a screen and pressing buttons, pretty much.
Yeah, same.
Probably not super dissimilar to you. Yeah. What do you
staring at a screen?
What are you looking forward to once we can all go back? Once everything returns back to whatever the new normal is, mate. What's the first thing you're going to get out and do shooting related?
Honestly, it's going to be like a lot of the people west of Sydney when they go out sort of west to just go for a shoot. Hopefully Mudgee will kick back on. It's always a good range to get out to. Or I'll probably head back west to, I've got a lot of friends with a few farms.
Yep.
Sort of, that's where I grew up, and that's where I know most to shoot. So I'll be heading back out that direction. Catch up with a few school friends that I grew up with, and just chill out and relax and make the most of the time while I can. Yeah,
nice, mate. Nice. You're into your hunting?
Do a little bit. A lot of I grew up sort of varmint control,
gotcha.
Where I started to learn to shoot in orchards, like picking off rabbits and foxes. That's what we do all winter, was just lots of rabbits and lots of foxes.
Yep. That's
kind of where I learnt to shoot. So that's kind of, that just reminds me of, I suppose, that everyone, whenever you think of shooting all the good times, you think of the stuff that you did when you were younger, and that's to me was always the good fun, was shooting rabbits and shooting foxes in an orchard. So I'll try and get back and do a bit of that while I can.
Yeah, I think I don't get to hunt or do that sort of stuff as often as I used to, even in the last 3 years or so. So I think I'm looking forward to getting out and doing that as soon as we possibly can, because that's what I spent most of my hunting time, has been on the back of a ute or out the window of a ute, or smacking foxes and rabbits and all sorts of stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to that. looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Now, one last question that we've got in here, and then we'll wrap up. Probably a fairly short answer on this one. But Dan has asked, what CNC machine do you run your rings on?
So it's a Sile X7, which is so it's a Chinese machine, but then it's Siemens everything else. So all electronics are Siemens, but then the actual mechanical part is a Chinese manufactured machine. It's sort of, at the time it was met my budget, and so by no means, I suppose in the grand scheme of things, are on the cheaper end, but so it costs the price of a new Commodore and then some. So to sink that into an unknown project was a bit of a gamble on my part. So
Yep.
I didn't want to sink the 100 plus into a machine that CNC machines do sort of end up costing.
Yeah. Well, mate, if they've been performing,
so that's the machine that I use.
Performing well, so no complaints, mate. No complaints.
Yeah, it ticks the boxes. It's not the fastest machine, not the biggest, it's not the fanciest, but it sort of gets me to where I need to be, which was, can I do it? And I suppose it answered that question for me. So.
And you can. Yeah, sensational, mate. All right, mate. Well, thank you very much for coming on. Let's do the last little plug. Porter Machine Works, website, Instagram, Facebook, follow all of it, check it all out, and you need to maybe put some photos up tomorrow of you cranking get some work done, so people got something to look at. And what is the next product we're going to see from you, mate? What's the next one in the pipeline?
The next one sort of. Probably the soonest, most recent one will be definitely a Picatinny rail on top of the rings. Soon after that will be definitely a uni mount.
Yep.
Trying to get a bubble level, but actually the bubble vials are a bit trickier than what you might imagine.
Right.
Just ordering bubble vials aren't exactly bubble vials. There's a bit of inaccuracy with them, so trying to get a decent quality bubble vial is quite hard. So definitely a bubble level. I think there's a decent amount of sort of wiggle room for one of those. So, that'll be sort of the next in the line.
Brilliant. Well, look forward to it, mate. All the best with getting to that point. Hopefully, mate, I think now is a great time because, as we talked about earlier, it's going to get harder and harder to get things from overseas and more expensive, certainly at this stage. So hopefully it's going to be a really good opportunity. And for the guys who are watching and haven't heard, check it out. They are good stuff. I've used them, seen them, played with them, sold them, and they are excellent pieces of equipment for the rings. And I'm looking forward to seeing what you bring out next, Sports. It should be Unimount is certainly on the cards because that's generally what I run. So I'm looking forward to having a crack with that, and then we'll see what else is in the long run. So awesome. Guys, hit up the website for any further details, and Ports, thanks so much for jumping on board tonight.
Thank you very much for having me.
Easy. Guys, thanks for watching tonight. Hopefully you had a nice relaxing Friday night and just talking about all sorts of stuff. So thanks for being supportive of this. We're off tomorrow. Got to have a day to edit that other video, but got to have a day of a little bit winding back and of course Anzac Day. Hopefully you're up in the morning and we will. I think we're all tuning into all sorts of stuff. I think it's 5:45 East Coast time or 5:30 East Coast time. The ABC broadcast starts, so check that out. And we will all the best for tomorrow morning, and do the right thing, for the little bits that we do for those who have served our country. I'm looking forward to it. It's something that we do every year, and especially we're often travelling actually this time. We're often in Mildura, so I've done a few Anzac days there, and it's wonderful to see the diversity. Tomorrow's going to be very different, and I look forward to hearing some excellent stories. Maybe we get a few more families involved that only have to walk down their driveway. I look forward to seeing. So keep me posted what you do, and we'll let you know. You can save on Projectile Warehouse 5% off there. ID Live number 5 on the code, and you can also with Stage 1 the shirts and the hats and such save 10% off there using the code ID Live 10. That's all live, good to go. And take care of yourselves, and we will see you Sunday night with Team AI for a Q&A session. Cheers.
Hey.